The director of investigations at Judicial Watch, Chris Farrell, says actual malice standards should be applied to Twitter executives who were caught censoring conservatives, adding they should not be shielded from liability. One America's John Hines has more from Washington.
The latest dump of the so-called Twitter files from Elon Musk seems to show that the banning of former President Trump from Twitter in the aftermath of January 6 brought much internal dissent. Ultimately, though, the president was banned, even though his tweets after January 6 did not appear to violate Twitter's rules. And Chris Farrell, director of investigations at Judicial Watch, I'm wondering, what do you make of this latest dump of the so-called Twitter files, sir?
I think there's people in the Silicon Valley that for a long time thought they were bulletproof and unaccountable and untouchable and were supremely arrogant that they had monopolized a space on that utility known as the internet. And they were going to just call the shots and create the narrative and do things their way. And then surprise, surprise, another guy who's a disruptor. You can think of Donald Trump as a disruptor, but an independently wealthy business person comes in and breaks up the party. Trump did it governmentally, and Elon Musk has done it in the world of, Silicon Valley or big tech or social media, however you want to think of it. There's this outsider who's just come in and he spoiled the game. He messed up all the little cozy relationships that they had out there and is telling tales, is revealing what's really going on in the hothouse California environment out there.
Do you see potentially some of the Twitter executives being liable for illegality going forward?
Sadly, no. I think they're going to get away with it. I don't see criminal charges being brought. There may be private causes of action. People may sue civilly to get damages, financial. I mean, that's the split, right? Criminal issues, people go to jail. Civil suits, they're looking for money. So there may be people who have a civil claim that their rights were violated in some way, and they may seek some kind of relief civilly. Congress will do their usual kabuki theater. They'll have hearings and go for sound bites and, wave their fingers and act like they're very upset, but nothing will actually come from it. The internet and all these companies that purvey information via the internet, I mean, if you want to look at it in a hard light, this has to go to reforms needed for all these companies and changing of the law concerning their liability. They're essentially a public utility now. They're relied upon by the public broadly for all sorts of information. And when you know that that information is being manipulated and you're being given either incomplete or false information, and you're making decisions based on that, whether it's decisions at the kitchen table or at the corporate board table,
or who to vote
you're
for.
making decisions. Yeah, you're making decisions on what you do with your family, with your money, with your time, and they're lying or they're twisting what you're getting. There's got to be liability somewhere.
And so that sounds like what you're saying is they should, that exemption from liability with the Section 230 of the FCC code should be yanked, basically. It sounds like what you're saying.
That is exactly correct, because if they're going to put it out there, they got to own it, just like any other media platform or means of, if I publish something that I know is false and defamatory and I do it willingly and deliberately, I would pay very grave consequences for doing that. It's called actual malice. It's a legal term. It has real meaning. And those standards need to be applied to these companies because they're not just blank pieces of paper that people run up and scribble things on. They are moderating and controlling and curating their content. Therefore, if they're doing that, they need to have the same legal liability and need to eat it the same way anybody else would.
Chris Farrell, Director of Investigations at Judicial Watch, thank you for talking to us on One American News, sir.
Thank you, John.
You asked for it, and now the wait is almost over. OAN Live is adding video on demand. OAN Live is already the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting national and international headlines. And now, the nation's top-rated primetime political talk shows, investigative reporting, and even more great content will finally be available on demand. Never miss your favorite talk shows again, like Real America with Dan Ball or In Focus with Stephanie Hamill. Plus, in-depth investigative reporting from Pearson Sharp, Chanel Rion, Caitlin Sinclair, and the rest of One America News' all-star investigative reporting team. All available anytime, anywhere. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting and political talk shows One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.